Namaste beautiful yogis, and a skincare video. I haven't had the energy and time to really sit down and talk to you because talk energy is very specific for me. We've been literally climbing a mountain here, and every day is kind of a rush to get everything done and to get to bed and all over again. But for some reason I got a biomat, so it made me kind of relax and slow down within myself. So I have a skincare routine update for you. It's been a long time coming, but I didn't mind waiting because I wanted to, the longer I wait, the more appropriate my feedback will be. As you know, I've mentioned that I started Retin-A. I started it because my skin absolutely got destroyed. After we moved to Texas, it just deteriorated very fast, and I didn't know if it's the 40s or whatever, but now in hindsight, it was the well water, which was very corroding, high in minerals, high in metals, high in pollutants, and in reaction with the crazy sun. The sun there is not like any other sun I've experienced. So between the two and the reaction of the sun with the material of the water that is kind of on the skin, it was basically breaking down the collagen and just suffocating the skin. Anyways, it got so bad, my pores were big, and just I could see that it's aging, that I decided to give Retin-A again a try. I've tried it for a week or so back in the day because Johnny's dad always used it up until, in his 80s. He had amazing skin and he had used it for 30 years over, and he was a big believer. Now, I like natural stuff, as you know, and it takes a lot for anything like this to for me to get convinced in. But it is just a vitamin A molecule. It's prescription in America, but it's not prescription, say, in Italy and Greece. But it's not available in Bulgaria, I know, but it is available in other countries over the counter, in some countries prescription, etc. It's different everywhere. So I started it in a particular formulation with a particular approach, and the results have been absolutely fantastic. My pores are back to their usual natural size, which is normal. I'm not poreless, but I don't have this big, heavy, kind of almost suffocated pores, right? Sometimes they get very heavy from, in my case, from the mineral content and the other content in the water. Once I switched to the Retin-A, I also stopped using the well water and started using distilled water. Now I'm using filtered water because I can use a little more of it. Distillation is a process that kind of takes a lot. And what it's done, it's made my skin more resilient, thicker, brighter. It reverses sun damage. So I didn't have spots of any sort, but I did have sun damage of other sort, right? Like wrinkles and fine lines or something like that. So it does reverse that. I am not working or affiliated with the company, but I do have my own referral code, which gives me around $6, and you get the same referral code if you become their customer. So it's just one of those things where if you go through my link, I'll get $6 towards my next order. And I order in packets of 6, so I prepay for 6 months, and that kind of gives you a little discount if you pre-order. Otherwise you can go month to month, and it's usually $25 a month, but if you do 6 months in advance, it's like 22, something like that. Anyways, so there is a specific way it has to be used in order to not irritate the skin. Once you get to the initial 6-month period where your skin can be a little irritated, or you have to be really careful how you use it, and this company starts you from the very low dosage and it increases it, so it's a very particular slow process, so you don't go through the ugly phase from the just very irritated skin phase. You kind of adjust, and the whole time your skin looks okay. You get to a place where it doesn't irritate the skin anymore. The skin seems thicker, more resilient, more bright, more luminous, more hydrated. The collagen stops to break down. Sun damage is starting to reverse. Maybe new collagen is building, etc. So it has a lot of amazing properties that I am seeing, and I'm about a year and a few months in. And I've used it for the most part throughout the entire year. I think I quit for 20 days in Bulgaria because I ran out. And I don't use it every day. So I just watch my skin, and if it starts to peel a little bit at night, like in the right before bed, that's fine. That's just dead cells sped up coming out, as long as there is no irritation. If it starts to get irritated, red, kind of itchy, then you back off. I don't even get to that place, because I see if it starts to peel, I back off. I skip a night, and it gives it time to heal. And basically that back and forth, watching your skin, using the other thing that I'll talk about it in a second, between those two, it's never really irritated. With sunblock, I've been doing a lot of kind of inward research, and I'll talk about it maybe in a separate video because it's gonna get long. But it doesn't make you more sensitive to the sun, but you also don't want to bake. You're okay to expose, for example, your face at 7 a.m. to receive the sunlight, to get your skin adjusted to the, say, summer season. And once the sun is strong, of course, hats, etc. If you're at the beach, I probably would do zinc. But it does tend to reverse sun damage. And I think it depends on what weather you live in, what season, etc. You don't have to. I, for example, all winter haven't used any sunscreen because I don't want it to react in my skin again, more metals, zinc, with the sun. So I would use it only on occasion, but not every day, because it's not necessarily good with the sweat and the sun, etc. It has its own issues with it. The best, I think, sun protection is building resilience to the sun by exposing the skin at sunset or sunrise. That way you build your vitamin D, your melanin, you eat a diet that is also protective from the sun, and when you know you're gonna be in the heat of the sun, then besides layers you can do that's kind of my conclusion so far, but it's more, there's more to it. But you definitely don't want to be baking between 10 and 2, the hot summer sun, or even for Texas that will be between 8 and 7 p.m. Literally the sun starts to bake, like to be very strong, almost at 7 a.m. So, it was, the sun is not quite the same everywhere. So you have to adjust it to the place, to the local food. Some foods are very protective, like bananas would build a little bit of color in you, etc. So there is quite a bit there that it's not talked about when people say just layer on the sunblock. It's not that simple, because also sunblock can protect from the aging sunlight, but not necessarily from the cancer-causing light. And another thing is it can give you the wrong impression when you have sunblock that you're okay because you're not burning, and your skin, when it starts to burn, it tells you get out of the sun. So there is something to not completely rely on sunblock, but in certain occasions when you are going to be in the sun, yes. Anyways, so that I do about like 3-4 up to 5 times a week, and I back off. Like I wash my skin and I back off. If it starts to peel, I back off. The peeling is kind of nice when you get it under control, because it's like it's cellular turnover, dead cells coming up, and then the underlayer is revealed. So it's pretty amazing, but you don't want it to be too fast, because once your skin is irritated, it's kind of like you're kind of reversing the benefits. You wanna be at a place where your skin is not irritated at any point, and they're gonna start you on a very low dosage and then slowly increase it. And I know everybody wants the highest dose right away, but that is usually why people quit it. It's better to just slowly increase it, make it a year journey, and by the end of the year you're gonna be at a higher dosage, but you would actually benefit from like that slow intro, because it is an intense ingredient. And for me it's not like retinol, it's just not the same. And also the way I have my referral code, you also have your referral code, so you can use that if you want to turn anybody onto it. Anyways, so at night, on the days when I don't use this, and in the morning I use this one. So this one is from someone that I watched his interviews on YouTube, and He has discovered some research on safflower oil with Thai ginger extract and a particular formulation that has the capacity to reach the adipose skin layer. So it's the fatty skin layer, and according to him, it can rebuild your fat cells. They are some of the most abundant cells in the body. So he thinks it's incorrect, the information that we were given a while ago, that once you remove fat cells, like say from liposuction, you can never get them back. He says that's absolutely incorrect because it's the most abundant tissue and the most renewable issue. But when we get older, we start to not have the same healthy fat cells. They become bloated and less active, less thriving. So this is almost like training your fat cells or keeping them fit. I do see results from it. It's not like fat transfer, and it's not like anything like more aggressive, but it does add a little bit of healthy fat onto your face. The way it's used is you layer it on the areas where you naturally have fat. So I think you cannot really do much about the forehead. I'm not sure you can even do anything about the above eye. I don't use it there so much because I don't think we have fat here. I just use it for, you know, where we're supposed to be most, where our baby fat is, right? Well, it was for me. Kind of cheeks, above the lip, and right here, like where I have issues, and like less fat nowadays. And it does seem to have a really, really good effect. If nothing else, it really makes the skin glow. And I will list it below. I didn't bring it here, but I have experimented because you know, it's somewhat pricey. I'll also have a 15% off. I leave 15 for this. After I used a bunch of bottles, I messaged them and they gave me a coupon. And by the way, side note, he's really against Retin-A, and I've read his articles and I've watched his debate with a doctor on the Retin-A and so forth. So I'm pretty aware of his stance on Retin-A. So he's very against Retin-A. But you know, everybody has to figure. I have had such amazing results from it that so far I'm gonna use it. If I change my mind one day, I reserve that right, I'll let you know. But I don't foresee that for right now. I think it's gonna be a while because this is so fantastic. I mean, I could potentially find something that is even as fantastic as this, and I may switch to it, like rosehip oil or something else. We'll see. But it's just a powerful ingredient that has a penetrating effect, and it's just the cellular turnover is amazing because it does something for nodal skin. It was discovered for acne too. Anyways, so, and it evens your complexion and it can remove dark spots. So I'm gonna try it because from the Texas water, my hands really suffer because obviously I wash dishes and my hands were in the water a lot, and I got my first ever sunspots. I don't know if you can see them, and I'll try it. We'll see if it reverses, but my skin, just by removing myself from the Texas water, is fine. It used to look like 100-year-old, and I'm not exaggerating probably. My hands started to look really old there because the collagen and elastin was deteriorating from the water. And here, just from eating our oranges from the farm, I feel they've been very powerful in just like reversing a lot of that damage. Anyways, I don't want to make this very long, but this is pretty much what I'm using. I have other things that I sometimes use just after I layer this. It's kind of like a white mask layer. Within 10 minutes it is absorbed and you're just kind of oily looking but no white. And then he says you can wipe it off. I usually take a little cream that I have from a hot spring in Hungarian hot spring water, kind of light lotion, light serum, and I just kind of put that over in order to kind of matte it if I can. And lately I started also using a little bit of that is Journey's cousin. She makes her own herbal potions. I'll link it below because she is just a small business to support. This is also a small business, by the way. from New York. This is not like some massive company, it's just one guy scientist that started this, and for a different reason. I think he was researching it for some other skin conditions and found out that it's great for aging. I do agree, and I do highly, I mean wholeheartedly recommend it. Adipeau, and I'll list my coupon Ali15 below. And this one you're gonna have to do consultation for the Retin-A, and they're gonna start you on a small. Mine is with niacinamide, which also softens the skin. I don't mix them. I have mixed them in the past, but I'm not clear on whether they can cancel each other or just kind of make each other weaker. Like for example, this might, for example, interfere with this, and this has to reach the adipose layer, the fat, and this one can stay a little more surface. But again, I don't mix them. I use this at night about 3-4 times a night, and then the other nights I use this, and I put it 15 minutes before bed. By the time I'm falling asleep, it's kind of absorbed, and I don't worry about it staying on my face because I wear like a silk mask. And I also use it in the day about like 5 times a week when I can. I just layer it when it's absorbed, and I put my kind of that Hungarian hot spring cream, and that's it. It's so simple. I wish I discovered this years ago, because I still have so much skincare left over from before I discovered this, and I don't want to throw it out, so I still kind of use it a little bit. But there's just nothing like these two things. These are just staple. And this is getting long. Lavender oil, that's kind of for sleep. If you like put it in your hair and in your face, I had such, if you massage your hair and leave it on at night and wash it in the morning, it just made me so over the top relaxed that I just loved it. And it's lavender, lemon balm oil. She grows the herbs and does it, and follows the moon stages, etc. So I highly recommend it. For skin, it's also amazing. It's healing. And it's in a base of olive oil called pressed olive oil. And one more thing, so I talked about sunblock, those two, and hats. Yeah, hats, that's the best sunblock. And maybe scarves if it's not super sunny, just kind of like a regular sun protection. And I just mentioned something and I completely forgot, and it was something important. I know when if I rewatch this, I would know what it was. Oh, okay, yeah, I remember. It's important. So, because he doesn't mind you formulating your own, but you're not gonna get the same product. I know that. But if you wanna formulate it, like for example, I mixed the lotion. I'll post it below. It was by that brand that is based on borage oil, but the first or the second ingredient after water is safflower oil, and I added a bit of safflower oil to it, and that Thai ginger extract, which I will also add. I mix that and I place it here, because otherwise I would run through a tube real fast. So I use this on my face. And the other thing here, it has a good effect. We also don't have a lot of fat here, so it's kind of almost like maybe wasting it anyways. So use this on the fatty areas where we naturally have fat. And the other one, I use it on my elbows, and I've mixed it myself with this active combination. It does have a good effect. It's not the same. I have used that other thing as a mask too on my face. Again, it has a good effect, but this gives you a glow, like a ridiculous glow. It's a smoothing, kind of plumpy glow, and over time it is supposed to add fat to your face, which is, part of the aging process, is losing the healthy fat and having lazy fat. And I guess I'm getting there, because there was one more thing I wanted to say, and again I forgot it. anyways, both of them work on the, you know, on the fat and collagen kind of matrix, and that is a big portion of just keeping the skin healthy. And oh, that's the last thing I wanted to say, and I'm just gonna check out. He does say that once you rebuild your fat and once it's healthy, you don't have to keep using the product. It's not like one of those things that you are obligated to keep using it to keep seeing the results. Once you reach the results, you can just also not use it anymore, because that's permanent results. And another thing is, there is something to rooibos tea that helps us have healthy fat internally taking it, and also topically, as far as I understand. There's something to look into. But anyways, that lotion that I'm using for this area also has rooibos, and I add that ginger extract. So I'll list those about 4 or 5 things below. Those are the main ones. This is kind of like a really powerful kind of sleepy overnight oil. But anyways, that is it. That's all I wanted to say. 20 minutes, not bad. Sometimes I get too complicated. All right, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.